Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, I wanted to talk about Holy Week because we are in Holy Week. And whether you honor and celebrate or this is not part of your religious tradition, I want us to talk about the idea of the intersection point because in grief, the intersection point is so important. Holy Week reminds us and all who celebrate that there is an intersection point between the very real suffering that is a part of the grief journey, the human experience of the loss that is a very real part of the grief journey, and the promise of the soul connection, the resurrection. Soul connection can create ease and grace in the grief journey, and yet it's an and with, not an either or. So we never want to do any kind of spiritual bypass in our grief journey. And spiritual bypass sounds like, well, you shouldn't be upset because they're in a better place. And quite often we use these comments to help support someone. But the truth is somebody who is grieving, that's not a supportive comment, because the reality is, while it may be true that they are in a better place, right now, I want them with me. That's the grief experience. So the best that we can do is to be compassionate with our very human response to loss. Whatever is showing up for you, that's part of your human journey. And the reality is that grief is a remarkable journey of constantly working with the intersection point, constantly working with the space between my very human experiences of loss and how I'm responding to it, and my soul journey, because grief at the end of the day is a soul journey. It's asking us to learn new and different things about ourselves and about our world. There are very hard questions that come up in this. These are the spiritual symptoms of grief. And as we walk through the spiritual symptoms of grief, as with all other symptoms of grief, if we walk through it consciously, if we bring ourselves present to the questions that are coming up, many of which are very hard questions, these are dark night of the soul questions. As we allow ourselves to be in the question and in the inquiry, so do we begin to find our way to the other side. Avoiding the questions simply hardens our hearts. It hardens our hearts against what might be a soothing, comforting answer. So I invite you to take this week to really explore, where is my grief right now? Where is my human response to the grief? Because wherever bubbles up there, that's the starting point. And when we can be present to that starting point, so can we begin to move through the grief journey with ease and grace. If you want to learn more about this, I invite you to come and join me in healthymourning.com. I would love to have a conversation with you. Just click on Discovery Call and let's have a phone meeting together. Let's spend some time together and let me understand what your individual grief journey is. If this has been helpful to you, then I invite you to like and subscribe. I think there's a bell there that you can click on for notifications every time we put up a new video. And as always, I'm wishing you ease and grace in your grief journey. Much love to you. Namaste.